3 kitchens, 3 chefs, 1 mystery ingredient. The ultimate multi-kitchen challenge.
What on earth is this?
I'm not really sure what to do.
With just 8 minutes each per kitchen, they must blindly add their own spin to a starter, main and dessert before swapping kitchens.
What we got? What's Kush done?
Will they work in harmony
I know Kush will hate this.
or turn against each other?
Barry, do me a favour. Go slap James.
And today, they'll all have to use the same Christmas ingredient in every single course. So let's get cooking.
Christmas pudding. That's not that hard. Let's go shopping.
Christmas pudding. I've got thinking onions because they always work. So I'm going to get this into a pan with some oil and then go and grab some of that great stuff.
Right, I was thinking, what? Water. I'm going on another trip, sorry. Emma's sabotaging me, I've got no water.
Take that one. Take it. Take the hot kettle. Right then. Savoury bread and butter pudding. And then like a chutney maybe, or I'll leave that for Ben actually. That'll be nice. I'll leave that for Ben.
Right, I've grabbed a bunch of stuff. Let's make a sandwich, okay? So a couple of things I'm going to do. I'm going to get this half-baked bread into the oven whole so they know that the whole is the option, right?
What's Christmassy and doesn't go in a dessert? Brussels sprouts. So I'm gonna cook Brussels sprouts in some sugar water, I think. And then I'm gonna blend them with a bit of water, make like a really nice, I'm gonna make a really interesting like green liquid. Basically, I wanna make Brussels sprout custard.
So we'll do ginger garlic paste with some chilies. Fried and salted brown butter. This is gonna smoke. Get some spices in there. Cumin, brown butter, ginger garlic paste, crispy onions, fold the meat through, layer it through loads of bread.
Separating some eggs, a couple of egg yolks go in. I'll add some sugar, and then I'm gonna add a bit of mulled cider, a bit of Cointreau, and our pureed sprouts. It smells vegetal in a good way.
I also picked up some grapes. Now, I always love grapes on a cheese board, but I actually think if we make like a chutney to go with bacon and blue cheese in an amazing sandwich and cut almost like little mini toasties, they would be a lovely little thing.
A little bit of Cointreau, a little bit of mulled cider. I'm hoping that it works with the... Oh no, that's fine.
What's that? Got cognac and port, and then do a Christmas pudding chutney. Turn that down a bit. That's cooking away. These gnocchis, they need to cook down because they're raw. We've got garam masala and cumin powder. They can go in now. Get the pigs and blankets in, they're raw, so they need to cook down a bit.
I'm going to commit to half the Christmas pudding. So A, they know it's been used, but also B, there's still a half if someone wants to do something else with it. Grapes are going in. Dash of that. And I'm going to go to the table for something more fun.
Bit smoked sausage and a roasted chicken breast. Bisto granules in, get some water. Spiced gravy. Oh, that looks rotten, doesn't it? More sauce. In. Yeah. Thickening up nicely.
I'm gonna start whisking. I know it sounds mad, but it really, I think it kind of works.
Let's do a croissant layered bread and butter pudding as the main course. So I think Ben's in here next. So if I can tee him up and he can build it, a bit of creamy blue cheese, put this in the oven. I've changed that. It's not a bread and butter pudding anymore. I don't know what it is.
Right, garlic going in. The grapes have now softened and split. Christmas pudding going in. And then believe it or not, this has been in the studio since last Christmas. It's a Christmas porter. We haven't drunk it all year, but it's going to be the base to this kind of stew. It will bubble down. It needs some acidity. Red wine vinegar. It has got sweetness from grape and onion, but I'm also going to go in with a squeeze of honey and a black pepper. Remember, the beauty of Christmas pudding is all that lovely spicing. And that's my time up. Now, we have the bread about halfway there, the bacon about halfway there, the chutney about halfway there. It's going with blue cheese, all in a sandwich. Job done. On to the next one. What we got? What's Kush done? Meaty ragu. Looks like multiple different pigs in blankets, smoked sausage. He's left me a clue. In. Right, let's do it.
Christmas porter, blue cheese, grapes, shallot. So I'm guessing everything on the table has gone into this, which tastes very nice. A little bit bitter.
That's warm and very green. That's Brussels sprout and Cointreau. They're trying to make a custard. That's not how you make custard.
Put this in. So it's the second time I've turned one of these out and chopped it up. It's going in there.
There's also an oven. Oh, bacon. What is somebody making here? So I might have to take a trip to the table because I'm not 100% sure how to add to this, because it's basically a cheese board with a lovely chutney, some bacon and a baguette. Almost a dish.
Yeah, so we're making a sabayon. James is such a phenomenal chef. So he set me down a path that needs constant supervision.
Okay, so we've got some blue cheese croissant bits, which we could layer up with this meaty ragu. This is a main course. Think. Okay, so it can't just be something en croûte. This was a really, really tangy, I'm guessing, port and Courvoisier reduction. What I need is some freshness.
So I've got green grapes, I've got green chives, and I was wondering if mince pies could take the pastry off and make a little crumb or something. I'm just not sure where to go with it.
Waffles. We're doing a dessert with waffles. They're pre-cooked, they can go in a hot oven. Let's get them crispy, then Ben can just finish them. Barry Taylor, just walking through a video he's not in. Barry, do me a favour. Go slap James. Nicely. Do that, toast some almonds on this tray. 6 minutes. Oh, these are going to go in for 5 minutes. I'll pull them out.
I don't understand from Kush.
Oh!
Okay, so sprouts at Christmas. Christmas literally doesn't exist without them. So I'm just going to slice them up so we can saute them off, and I think go heavy on salt, pepper and some satsuma zest. So we've got a nice zinginess, and then I wonder if that's what we put our port reduction through. So you get these nicely freshly sauteed or stir-fried sprouts, but with this really sticky, spiced Christmas pudding mix.
I could almost just leave this whole thing for Kush and he could plate everything right now. I'll just look like I'm a chef while I'm in here.
Christmas pudding sabayon. Done. Made a decision. You fold whipped cream through this, but let's do a burnt orange. And that'll just caramelise as it eats up in its own sugar. Nice and rich. But I don't know what to do with it. It needs to thicken up somehow. Yoghurt, will that split out? Put yoghurt through it? Don't know. Chocolate. Chocolate will help set it up if this partially melts. Chocolate Christmas custard.
I don't quite understand the logic of this. I don't quite understand how that is going to pile up with that. Sprouts going in. Now everyone's happy. Now this has got a Christmas vibe. Zest of satsuma and heavy on black pepper. I genuinely don't know why Kush has brought over eggs. Maybe he had a plan for eggs, I don't know, and there's still lots of chicken. What I'm thinking though, is you've got this with the meat ragu like fanned out, and it's wonderful, fresh, quite zingy, because we're gonna put the orange juice through it. It's an absolute powerhouse of flavour. The zest, and then all of this.
I just thought I could like take the top off that, scoop the mince pie out and put some blue cheese in it, but that seems a little bit too close to poker face. I'm just wondering if we could like use some of this pastry and fry it off. Have I done anything? You tell me. I know this has been in the oven, but kind of just like a little bit of... I know Kush will hate this.
Oh, let's just make some toffee around these. Do a sprout toffee. There's butter. Is there butter? Butter. Oh yeah, we'll do that. We'll make a toffee sauce with pistachio toffee. So get some salted butter. That'll go in once it's turned to caramel. Stop it cooking with that. Let's taste it. That is so rich. Sweet. Velvety. Wow. That might work. Spices, spices, spices. Spices! Black cardamom, Christmassy spice, give it a nice flavour. Loads of that, because you're only going to, cook it for a short amount of time. Used in mulled wine if you're making mulled wine properly, I say anyway.
Spicier than I thought it was going to be, but actually with the sweetness of this port and the Christmas pudding and the richness of the croissant and blue cheese, we're on for a bit of a winner there. Swap them over. It's going to taste great. Jen's going to hate me, because how do you plate it?
It's going to look like I've done nothing. And that might be true, but what I think I'm adding to this is fresh elements. There's nothing fresh to this dish. So I've just thought, I've kind of used grapes like Ben did. He's already used shallot, and I'm now going to chop up more shallot, but I'm going to keep it raw. So this raw shallot, which will only need very little, will just kind of brighten this dish up, hopefully, and also give it a little bit of colour. And then the bacon. I think I'm going to keep those in rashers and see what Kush wants to do with them. I don't know if they actually need anything doing with them.
Should we put a sprout in the pan to caramelise? Not too far. We've got these plums here. Plum and orange. Butter goes in to stop the sugar cooking, he says. To a sprout, whipped yogurt. Yogurt. He won't know it's got sprouts in it. It'll just be green. Don't split. I just love cutting this so much. They're hot. That's hot.
What we have, croissant dough toasted with blue cheese, lovely. We've got the cranberry and Christmas pudding sprouts, which is like sticky and lovely. And we've got the meat ragu. It's 3 component parts. James won't have a clue how to put it on a plate, but neither do I.
Made a chocolate Christmas pudding sabayon. Toasted some waffles. Toasted some almonds. They're hot, so we'll leave him a cloth so he doesn't burn his little fingers. Candied some oranges with cardamom. And made this sprout and cruncho drizzle. It's not a dessert, but
Like I say, I feel like I haven't done much, but I think I am adding to the dish. So hopefully the other guys see that. But what you're about to see is a transition, and then Kush is gonna just absolutely lay into me about doing nothing.
What we got, what we got, what we got? Yogurt. Yogurt and mint? That's got the Christmas pudding in it. Is it cooked? I think it's just moussey, it's delicious. I don't think there's much I need to do.
I'm smelling kind of like Asian flavors right now, but this is looking weird. I think it's tasty. It's kind of giving me like leftover vibes, which is not a bad thing. This is giving me sad vibes, and I don't really know what to do with this. Oh, wow. It's a croissant with blue cheese on it. Why do we have blue cheese and Asian flavors?
it smells Christmassy in here. Right, what's 20 minutes of chefing look like? We have a chutney, very sweet. This is, oh, that's a mince pie. That's a crumble. It's a toasted mince pie crumble. More fat bacon through that. Oh, bacon shallot. That might work. Yeah, let's finish this crumble off. Bits of baguette.
A few minutes to do something fun. Coconut and egg white to make the world's simplest, quickest little macaron. Tiny little snowballs. Tiny, tiny, tiny little snowballs for Christmas. And then everything else goes on the plate.
I'm thinking I'm gonna like put it into a dish and bake it, and it's gonna get served as a whole dish. And then maybe I'm gonna pad out the sprouts a little bit, and hopefully that's a side dish, and that might be it. I don't think I've even got time to do this, to be honest. It's gonna have all the sausage, pigs in blankets, turkey through it, and then this is gonna get some bread on it. This is hard work.
This almost like screams like I need pate or chicken liver parfait with it. Because it'd be a nice garnish over a parfait. Chutney, that's cooked. That just needs to go on the side of something. We're doing a ploughman's, a mini cheese ploughman's, but with mince pies instead of pork pies. That needs more acidity and a tickle of heat. Actually, that'll work. I don't know what this is. They pulled this out of an advent calendar. Let's go some hot chili sauce and some vinegar and just blow things up.
Pork. The fact that you're running around is scaring me.
Are you gonna use this?
No, probably not. I'll
Thanks.
take that there.
Sort it. So, let's pimp the chutney with some of Big Jim's barrel-aged buffalo hot sauce. So full of depth and the whiskey flavour, Christmassy vibes straight away. That good vinegar, that stuff through there to give it some acidity. It's a lovely hot spicy chutney now, I hope, with the Christmas pudding for it. But some of Mike's pulled pork.
Yes or no to the sprout liquid? I can't decide if that's nice. Is it sprouts? I think it's got sprouts in it. I'm not going to leave it off the plate because I think it's really bizarre. Two of these chocolate Christmas pudding custard vibes.
I'm gonna chop some coriander. That's gonna give a bit of freshness to it. I'm gonna quarter some sprouts. I'm just gonna boil them and then stir them through, and hopefully 5 minutes is just enough time to do that. The bake is already plated. I'm not gonna do anything with that. So I'm gonna try and find a little bowl for the sprouts, and that's us done.
Maybe do a little quenelle of this on a plate. Oh, this is going well so far. The boys have smashed it, I think.
Just found some cranberries. They're nice with sprouts, just to prove that I'm doing something.
Found these lovely croissant toasts with like blue cheese on top that I made in the other kitchen. James didn't want them, so I'll use them. It's not cheating. Put that on top. Nuts. These nuts.
I think that looks a lot fresher. Much like the previous two kitchens, I did something. I don't know if it was good.
Right, boys, Merry Christmas. Should we start with the starter?
Think ploughman's.
I like it.
Hang on, I'm really confused. That's not the starter, that's the main course. I mean, I like it,
Made an
but
open sandwich.
component parts started in a different kitchen when I was there.
Considering I spent my whole go saying I could plate up right now. Kush was sprinting in and out of my kitchen.
Stealing half the ingredients by the looks of it.
So we've got a Christmas spice pulled pork over some little blue cheese croissant toasts with, I'm going to call it a bacon and Christmas pudding salsa on top.
Chance.
Heavy on meat, blue cheese, the richness of the crumb, some acidity cut through it. What's not to like?
It's actually very nice.
And just checking the brief, the Christmas pudding made it onto the plate in 2 places.
I assumed the Christmas pudding was in the chutney,
It was in the grape chutney.
which used to be a chutney and is
Right.
now pulled pork.
Great.
And then I
you put it on top as well?
So you get a bit of both.
It's tasty.
Double Christmas pudding. Love it.
I mean, we made something delicious.
Right, James, what's under your cloche?
3, 2, 1, get! Ta-da!
Okay.
What are we calling it?
Sesame soy leftover bake.
Sesame and soy leftovers.
So it's like a sesame prawn toast, but instead of being prawn, it seems to be all the other porkness from the Christmas table. I said it
Yeah, the two work together.
every year for the last 15 years. We've tried to find new ways to cook the same ingredients. Sprouts, cranberry sauce, pigs in blankets, Christmas pudding. Again,
This is new.
very different stuff. Tastes great.
It's almost like a warm salad with all the veg on top.
Leave him alone. He won't come back again.
I will, that's the problem.
Ready for dessert? Because I did very little to this.
I'm worried. Wow.
Yes!
What I think we have is Brussels sprout yogurt with a chocolate and Christmas pudding stacked waffle, caramelized satsuma and plum, and some snowballs. And I'll be honest, I'm just confused by the sprouts, but somebody had gone to such effort that I thought it had to be on the plate.
So sprouts all the way through it, really?
With yogurt.
Yeah.
So it is a sprout yogurt. I was like, it's tangy and it's green.
It's got melted pistachio gelato in it that was sitting in the fridge. And you made snowballs.
Otherwise, you've done it all. A pair of you had made a dessert.
It's quite delicious.
All I need to do is stack it up.
That is a...
Yeah. It's very sweet, but then you have the bitterness and the acidity from the fruit. It's a very indulgent Christmas finish.
I mean, that went better than I thought it was going to when I was cooking.
What I would say is Christmas pudding is an ingredient that divides the nation. People either love it or they hate it. Or maybe you're just cooking it wrong. Here are 3 great ideas. Comment down below. Which is your favourite?
There's no doubt Christmas pudding is better not as Christmas pudding.